welcome back to my channel and welcome the newcomers. I hope you like what you see, and if so, be part of this journey by hitting that subscription button. It's free, and hit the bell notification to be notified of the new uploads. I would just like to mention that if the video is a little bit too fast for you, up top there's 3 little buttons. You can click there, slow down the video to the speed you'd like. Also, right next to it, there's the CC letters for closed caption. You can turn that on, and you can read all the stitch that I'm calling down here. By pausing the video, take notes, will make it easier for you. Now, normally when I upload the videos, it takes about an hour for YouTube to search all my words that I'm saying, so it can appear on the closed captions. So don't panic if you don't see right away the closed captions, because the video has just been launched. It will show up in about a half an hour to an hour after the upload. I also would like to mention that if you have extra yarn, extra thread, and you'd like to help the women in need, we highly appreciate it and being very, very grateful for it. Thank you for the ones that already have helped and are still helping. If you'd like to donate, right below the video, there's a little bag of $. You can donate whatever amount you'd like. Nobody's asking for millions. Anything helps. It adds up at the end. You can also go into the description box. My PayPal account is there. You can donate through there if you'd like also. Please always give a thumbs up on the video if you like the video. It does help the video to circulate and also to be recognized worldwide. I gratefully appreciate it. Thank you so much. That's one way to help me out and to help to continue to create these beautiful pieces. Also share on your Facebook public. It costs nothing. Everything is free. There's no charge of anything. So please help out to grow the channel. I do have a Facebook group, private group. If you have a profile, you're more than welcome to request to be a member. It's free, of course, and we'll approve you. You must have a profile. Be careful with the links that you go into the groups that says cut and bit. These are fraud scammers that go through your phones, your computers, and take every information of yours. Do not open up those links. There's a lot of hackers in the groups now. That's why I made sure that my group is private. I want to thank every single one of you from the start being with me, and thank you so much for the newcomers. It costs nothing to subscribe, so please do so. Thank you so much, everybody. Everything will be listed always in the description box for every pattern that I create, the sizes, the thread that I use, which is Portugal thread. They're 100% cotton thread, 4-ply, which is similar to Aunt Lydia. Number 3, which number 3 Aunt Lydia is just a little bit thicker than my thread, not by much, but a little bit. I usually use a hook 3 or 3.5, a small one for tucking in loose ends, and a pair of scissors, of course. So thank you, everybody. Any other questions, suggestions, please feel free to comment. You can always get a hold of me if your intentions are to give some thread or yarn away. There's my email below the description box. There's my Facebook page that you can follow also, my Facebook group, my Instagram, my TikTok. So there's so many ways you can message me. Thank you so much, everybody. I hug every single one of you, and much blessings to all of you. Okay, let's get started. Okay, beautiful friends, we're going to create a table runner. It's going to be long, but I don't want it to be too wide, so I can go directly in the center of the table. And since it's almost Christmas holiday, so I have the tutorial out on this beautiful flower already, which I'll leave the tutorial link below in the description box. So if you want to create, you have to create this first. If you like the video, please give a thumbs up. It's extremely important. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. It's free and it helps to grow the channel. I'm going to use hook 2.75, a pair of scissors, and a small one to tuck in loose ends. It's going to be very easy making. It's just time consuming making the flowers a little bit, of course, but not complicated at all. So we're going to get started on this. Of course, once you make the flower, you will already have your pattern here to continue on. That's why when I created the flower, I didn't cut the thread so I can continue from here. So I'm going to come in into the space where there's the squares, and I'm going to do single and 2 chain. That's what we call a double crochet. Going to do another double crochet. So in these squares I'll have 3 double crochets into the next space and create 3 double crochets again all the way to the edge, remembering that whatever you do on this side you have to do it on this side. So I'm going to do the 3 double crochets on each square, and then I'll meet you here at the edge before turning the corners so we can. Okay, I thought I was recording and it wasn't recording, so that's why it's important always to look ahead of the video before anything. I'm creating this as I go, so of course I'll be going back and forth on the stitches to make sure that they fit in properly. So I was telling you to do 3 double crochets inside of the squares, but I took it out and decided to go with only 2. I don't want the pattern to crumple up, so that's why it's important to look ahead of the video. So go into your first square and do a single 2 chain and double crochet, next square 2 double crochet, next square 2 double crochet, all the way to the edge. Now at the edge I have 6 groups of 2 double crochet together, and 1 chain space between them. We are going to do an increase on the second double crochet, okay, because that's the edge. We have to increase. So on my first double crochet I'm doing 1, on my second I'm doing 2. I'm going to do 1 chain space, come back into the first double crochet. On my second, I'm doing 2. 1 chain space, and repeat the same thing, remembering that what you do on this side or the edge, you must do on the other side and the other edge also. So 1 chain space, 1 double crochet in the groups, and on the second double crochet, 2 together. Okay, this is a 4-ply 100% cotton thread, very similar to Aunt Lydia. Mine is a little bit thinner, Aunt Lydia number 3. If you want to go smaller, on the first video that I have with the flowers, I tell you how many chain stitch to start to have a smaller pattern. Okay, so I'm going to meet you at the end on this side here, so I don't have to keep recording the repeat or else the video will be too long. Just want to remind you, once you've finished your last group, you go directly into that square space. We have no chain space between it, and you create your 2 double crochets and directly into the next one with 2 double crochets. So it's just a repeat all the way to the end. Just like that, okay? So I've reached the end. I'm on my last square here, and knotting 2 together on the same square, and then coming on my 3rd chain, or should I say second, because we did a single and 2 chain, and closed in. So this is what it looks like. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Actually, I'm going to do a single here because I think it will look nicer than just chain. So back in the same one where we closed, I'm doing a single, 2 chain, that would equal a double crochet, and 1 for space. I'm going to skip 1. I'm coming into the next double crochet, 1 chain, skip 1, I'm coming into the next double crochet, 1 chain. So we're building those little squares again. Skip a double crochet and going to the next 1 chain space, and we're going to do that all the way to the edge of the pattern. And then once we get here, we're going to increase again 2 double crochets on the last one. So we started obviously from the beginning with 1 and then 2, then 3, and then 4. Okay, double crochets. So we're going to continue until the edge, and I'll come back to you at the edge. So I'm on my last one here from the square. I did my 1 chain, I'm skipping 1, I'm coming into where the groups are. So I'm going to do my first double crochet, my second, and on the last one I'm going to do the 2 together. 1 chain space, my first double crochet, my second, always an increase at the edges, and 2 together on the same space. So we're creating 4 double crochets now at the edge, and 1 chain space, 1 space between the squares all the way to the end on this side too, and your edges will be the same thing on this side. So I'll meet you at the end. Okay, you guys, so we've reached the end here before the other curve. Now, if I'm to skip one, I would have to go directly in here, and then we have the groups. I'm not going to do that. We have 48 squares on this side, and we have 48 squares on this side. So I'm just going to do a 1 chain space, and I'm going to come directly where the groups is. So I'm skipping these 2 on the last one. Now, by doing this other square, I should have 49. When I come around to this side, I'm going to have my 49 here also, because I'm going to build another square. Okay, so that's 49 squares with this one, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just recount. Yes, I have 49 squares. So that means on the other side I have 48. Once I get around to it, I'll do my 49. So we've done our first double crochet where the group is. That means I've skipped 2 here. Okay. And we're continuing to add to do the increase on the last one. So it's the 4 double crochets. We will end up with 1 chain space, and we continue on. 1 chain, and then proceed again. Don't forget the increase on the last double crochet. So we'll have groups of 4 double crochet. Okay, so I'll meet you here. So I'm doing my last increase, 1 chain, and I'm coming directly into my second chain from the first one. So now we have 49 squares on both sides. So I'm going to count from here, row 1, row 2, going into row 3. I'm just counting from the first one that we did because the other ones are part of the first video. Okay, so actually I'm going to do a single right on the same space, 2 chain inside of the 1 square. I'm doing 1 double crochet on top of the chain and 1 inside of the double crochet, the square, 1 on top of the double crochet. So we're changing a bit here. And why am I doing this? I'm doing this because then I want them to line up square with square, if you know what I mean. And like this, we don't have to keep jumping any double crochets at all. So it can just keep following the pattern the same way. So 1 on top of the double crochet, 1 inside of the space, and just repeat the same thing all the way to the end. So the next row, when we are going to do the squares, it's going to fall on top of the same space. if you know what I mean. So it will be like in order, just squares going up in the same direction. And sometimes you only like think of these things as you're creating. Like in my case, I visualize something, but I have to, play around with the vision, of course, and the stitches in order to imagine how it would lay out. Okay, so we're still doing 2 double crochets, but one on top, one in the center, one on top, one in the center. In this case, we didn't. We needed to fill that first row up, okay, so that everything else can stay nice and steady. So we're going to do the same thing, and coming to the edge, of course, you know that we are going to put one on top and one here. I guess I'll get to here with you guys to make sure, because now it changes up again a bit. Okay, you guys, so we've reached the end, and of course normally we would have done one in here, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do one chain, and I'm going to go into the groups. Okay, so now the pattern should fall into place each time we go around, and not have to jump or skip anything else. So 2 together, 1 chain, and we're going to do the same thing in all 4 corners. That means on this side, the other side, and the other side. So not forgetting to do your increase here at the end, and you're supposed to have 5 double crochets in the 6 groups. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, row 4. We're going to do the same thing here. We're going to do the increase and then jump right on top of the double crochet, but I'll meet you there. So I've done my last group. I'm going to do my 1 chain, and I'm coming directly on top of the double crochet and 1 inside of the space, 1 on top of the double crochet. So now we have it all nice and figured out. And then we're just going to continue the same way. How pretty that's coming, isn't it? And then we're going to do the same thing on this end. We're going to do the double crochet here, 1 chain, and go directly into the group, and repeat the same thing here. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone. So I pretty much did until the end. Close in with a slip stitch, and now we can do this simply just by following 1 double crochet where we have the double crochet. So it's always skipping 1. So I'm going to come back into the same one because I don't want a straight line going up noticeable. 2 chain, so single 2 chain, and 1 more for space. Coming into the next one, now we can see that it's going to line up because it's right on top of the one below. 1 chain space, skip 1 into the next one, 1 chain space, skip 1 into the next one. So it's going to be like this all the way around. Coming to the edge, we're going to add 1 at the end on the last double crochet, so we'll have 6. Now we have 5, 2, 4, and 5. So we are in 1, 2, 3, 4 row. Okay, row 4, and I'm counting from the ones we did, not the ones from the first video, right? 1, 2, 3, the 4th row. I'll meet you at the end. So I've come to the end of my row, and we're just going to do the increase at the edge as we've been doing. Now I don't know how many rows I'm going to go up, but it's going to be repeatedly like this for the next few rows. You could always advance the video and see how many rows I've done. If I'm adding anything else as a design to this pattern, I'm not sure yet at this point. I'm going with the flow. So 1 chain space in between the groups, and then add 2 together on your last double crochet. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing on this edge, and of course repeat the squares on this side here the same way. I'll meet you in a few more rows up. I'm not sure how many yet. Like I said, you can advance the video. Okay, everyone, so counting from the first row we did, I have 7 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all repeatedly the same way. Always an increase on the last one, and double crochet where we have the squares. I'm going to cut my thread, and I'm going to come in with the gold. So I have this bling bling gold. I don't know if you can see it on camera. Gorgeous. The same thing as this one. This one's a little bit thicker. It's exactly the same size as Aunt Lydia number 3. So it's a little bit thicker than my blue. And we're going to do single crochets all the way around. And where we have the increases, we're just going to do one in the center of the squares of singles. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, going into row 8. So I'm going to start where we have the square and do a single. And 1 per space. We're going to do this all the way around. Now normally I was supposed to use a bigger hook for this, but because I don't want it to be too big, I'm going to use the same one, the 2.75. Okay, so we'll do singles all the way around. I'll meet you at the other edge. So I'm at the edge here. We're still going to continue to do inside of the space, and then 1 per space. So we're not having any increases because we are already filling in the space of the square. Okay, so it's just 1 per space all the way around. And then I'm cutting my thread again and coming in with the blue. Okay, everyone, so I pretty much did all my singles all the way around. I'm coming in with the blue. I'm coming in exactly where I started off with the single, but you can start pretty much anywhere that's kind of tight, so I'll use another end because that's where I tied everything off, so it's always tighter there. Okay, so I'll come in the same space but the other side. Single, 1, 2, 3, trying to hide my thread, 4, 5, 6 chain. I'm going to skip 1, 2, 3, 4. On my 5th one, I'm coming in with a single. Then I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm going to count from the bottom here. 1, 2, 3. On my 4th one, I'm closing in with a single. So we're going to create these little loops here like that. Now, as I mentioned on the first video, that I want to create the same edge as this. So basically, this is what we're doing now, okay? And if you've missed this doily, I'll leave the link below in case you want to create and make sets. Now I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3 chain again. I'm going to skip 1, 2, 3, 4 on my 5th one. Now as we go, we'll see if we need to make any adjustments when we get to the end, because this is not, calculated before. This is I'm creating as I'm going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is just going to be a repeat all the way around. So you come in with single. Gotta make sure that I go right in the center because that thread, the gold one, is way thicker. Well, not way thicker, but a little bit thicker. So I have to grab completely. Okay, so you'll have always one loop and then the little ring here, one loop. Now we're going to create 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Again, counting from the bottom up. 1, 2, 3. You're going to come into your 4th and you're going to close it with a single. And then 1, 2, 3, chain again. Skip 1, 2, 3, 4 on your 5th. Again. And then your 6th chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and skip again. 1, 2, 3, 4 on your 1, 2, 3, 4 on your 5th. Single. So this is what we're going to do all the way around. We're going to create these little loops like that with 6 chain in between them. Okay, so if we need to make an adjustment at the edge, we'll do the adjustment. Okay, so I'll meet you at the edge. So I'm at the edge and everything seems to be going pretty well, so I don't have to do any adjustments here at the edge. Continuing the same thing, 1, 2, 3, 4 on my 5th. And then continue to do your 12. Come back on your 4th, 1, 2, 3. And close it in with single, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4 on your 5th. So it seems to be going pretty well. Now, if I need to make an adjustment at the other edge, we'll see how it goes because I don't have the count of stitch. I don't usually do counts of stitch. I usually work my way around. If I need to adjust it, then I will. Okay. Okay, everyone. So I'm at the end, and it ended up perfect. Now, that's rare. Let me tell you that, especially when I'm just creating it just like that as I go. I usually have to make an adjustments, but in this time, it's just perfect. It falls right into the right stitch. So I have the last loop to do here. We started with the 6 chain, and if I count 1, 2, 3, 4, it's on the 5th one. So imagine that. Couldn't be any happier for that matter. Okay, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we're going to continue on. 1, 2, 3 on my 4th. 1, 2, and 3. My 3 chain, and I'm going to come in where I did the first single. So I'm just slip stitching right in there. And now we have the perfect setting. Wow, I'm so happy it turned out just perfect. Now, another thing that I want to remind you, if you wanted yours wider, you could have just continued in more rows like here, all the way around the same way as we've been doing to a bigger size if you wanted it wider. I didn't want it that wide, even though this has, like, I think the edge of this has 7 centimeters of the edge, so it's going to be still up to here. Okay, so now we're going to continue on. So I close with a slip stitch. I'm coming inside of the 6th chain and doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 singles inside. Everywhere where we have the 6th chain, we're doing 9 singles. I'm coming where we have that loop and that 3 chain, we're doing 3 singles, exactly the same size as we have the chain. I'm coming inside of this little loop here that we did, and I'm doing 18 double crochets inside of this little circle on each one of them. So it's just going to be a repeat all the way around the same way. 18 double crochets. So I've done my 18 double crochets inside of the little loop of the 12 chain. I'm coming down on the chain here where we have the 3 chain and doing 3 singles. Okay, so 3 singles going up, 3 singles coming down, just like that, and then going back into the chain and doing 9 singles again. So it's just a repeat all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We are where the little 12 chain loop is, doing 3 singles on the chain going up, and then 18 double crochet inside of the loop. Okay, so 18 and then 3 coming down, 9 singles in the chain, 3 going up, 18 inside of the loop again. So it's going to look like that. Okay, I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, so I pretty much did all the way around, as you can see. Now we're going into the next row again. So I closed in with a slip stitch. Now we're going to count, we're going to go into the 4th space, so we're going to do slip stitch. So that's my 2nd, because I closed in the 1st with a slip stitch. So 2nd, 3rd, and on my 4th, we're going to do a single. Actually, it's not the 4th, it's the 5th, sorry. So we're going to go all the way to the 5th single. That's the 4th. So on my 5th, I'm going to do a single, 2 chain. I'm going to skip all of this here, and I'm coming in where the double crochets are on the motif here, and I'm going to skip 1, 2, 3. I'm coming into the 4th one, doing a double crochet, 1 chain space, next space, 1 chain space, next space, and again. And we're going to do this until the before on the 4th one here from the end. So 1, 2, 3 on the 4th. I believe we should have 12 double crochets. We're going to repeat this all the way around. 1 chain space, double crochet, 1 chain space, so we have 1, 2, 3. I'm coming in to the 4th one before the end. So that means we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Chain 2. I'm going to count from the single here where we have the singles, the 9 singles. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, actually 1, 2, 3, 4. On my 5th one, I'm going to do a single. Chain 2 again, and we're going to repeat the same thing. So we're going to skip 1, 2, 3 on your 4th one, and we're going to create those 12 double crochets, 1 per space. So we're skipping the first 3 going into the 4th, and will be the same thing here at the end like we did here. So 1 chain space, double crochet in the next space, 1 chain in the next space. So we're going to do this 12 times and then repeat the same thing by skipping at the end. Now just remember that you can use whatever colors you want. So 1, 2, 3, I'm on my 4th, chain 2, so we're supposed to have 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Chain 2. 1, 2, 3, 4 on my 5th, single, chain 2, and then skip again. 1, 2, 3 on your 4th, and create your 12 double crochets, 1 chain space between them and into the next space. Okay, so we have to do this all the way to the end. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everyone, so I've reached the end. We have only 2 more rows left, which is this row and then the peacock row. Okay, so now we need to do the walks. I've closed in with a slip stitch. I'm going to come in between the chain here of 2, and I'm going to walk with a slip stitch to the 2nd space here. So we're skipping the first one and we're skipping the last one. So we're coming with a single. I'm going to stretch mine up a bit. I'm going to do, so this would be like 2 times. We're doing the poof. And 1 more. Actually, no, let's do that again. Stretch it a bit. Only on this first one, I'm going to do 4 because I need to close it in. So I have 3, 1 more. I'm going to close in and then the last one here, only on this first one to get me started. So now I'm going to do chain 1. For some of you that your stitch is too tight, you can do chain 2. So 2 and 3. Everything else stays 3. So you take out and you take out. Chain 1. And again, 1, 2, and 3. Take out and take out. Chain 1. If you find it's too tight, then you can do a chain 2. 1, 2, and 3. Close it all in, and then the last one. Okay, so we're going to do this and leave the last one out. Okay, so I've skipped the first square and I've left the last square. So we have 9 poofs stitch in there. We're going to go directly, not the first one, we're skipping, coming into the second one. So 1, 2, and 3. Close once and close 2 times, chain 1, and continue to do your 9 poofs again. So we're not doing the first one, and we're skipping the last one. So simple as that all the way around. Just like that. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end. There is no chain space. You go directly into the second space here on the motif. Okay. Okay, everyone. So I'm at the end. I'm going to close it in with slip stitch. And I'm going to cut my thread. Now we're going to proceed with the last row. And the last row is peacocks. So I'm just going to tuck in my loose ends and just go over, because with the peacock it's going to hide the rest of the thread. And I'm going to come in with gold. Okay, everyone, so this gold is very shiny. I don't know if you can see on camera, but it's a very bling bling gold. Now, the gold that I used, it's got some bling in it. I know it's hard to see on camera. It never does its justice. But there is a few pieces of bling bling on this one here. As you probably can see, some of it there, some of the shine. That's some of the, it's already mixed into this one. But I'm going, in order to bring this shine out, I'm going to use just a very, very shiny one. And this is a much thinner thread, so I have to use, of course, a bigger hook for this. I'm going to try with my 2.75 if it works. If not, I'll go with the 3.5. So I leave a little bit of string so I can tie it well at the end. You can start anywhere that you would like. So I'm going to come in between the first space of any poof with a single. I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to come back into the same space and close it with a single. So it's doing a peacock without closing it in as a peacock. Single, next space, 1, 2, and 3. Come back in. If you want to close in as a peacock, you're more than welcome. Next space, 1, 2, and 3. Back in. So this whole row is just a closing with peacocks. Next space, single, 1, 2, 3. Next space, single, 1, 2, 3, chain. Next space, 1, 2, 3. And just repeat all the way around. Now, because this has the bling bling in it, it really brings up the topper bling. So you're just going directly from one place to another, single, chain 3, and you continue on the same way. So nothing to it. No chain space in between motifs, just singles and 3 chain from one place to another. I think this is gorgeous on the table for Christmas, right? With some beautiful gold decorations or vase or something like that. or gold flowers inside of a crystal vase or blue vase or whatever of your preference. Okay, so I pretty much came from one to the next one. And this is what it looks like. Now I know on camera it's really hard to see. See if I can shut this one here, maybe give you a little bit more. But it's got this beautiful same shine on these ones here and here that it brings out. Anyway, so I will have a little video with it at the end and the pictures on top of my table. It's pretty much that for this tutorial. I will leave the link if you want to create sets or doilies in the same way. I'll leave the link below and also the link to the centerpiece. Now with this pattern, like I said, you can go as big as you like, and you don't necessarily have to use this motif here. You can just do, I mean, if you go on my playlist and you go into table runners, there's all kinds of oval there, and you can use just the double crochet all the way around and then continue with the same motifs. This pattern can be used on any other beginnings, not it doesn't have to be specifically on flowers, or you can use on granny squares or whatever you want. Okay, please don't forget to give a thumbs up on the video. I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and especially to the women that have been donating either in money or thread to the women in need. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, and they thank you also. And for the ones that are still considering to give, please do. Christmas is around the corner. They can use some thread and create some pieces for themselves, or to get them going to sell and to feed their families. I do have some comments of some of them that sell their little pieces to feed their families there in some of my videos on YouTube. You could always look and see. Thank you so much, everybody. Please share the video on your social medias or your Messenger, your Facebook, your Instagram. Help grow the channel. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Hit that bell notification for the new uploads. Thank you so much, everyone. Until next time, God bless. Stay safe. Bye-bye.